most of this video, maybe it's gonna even be a motivational video for you. You can just get all pumped up. There's another part of it that's gonna let you know what kind of fan you are. So the best way for me to let you know what we're about here at Fight Shrink is, first off, the respect that we have for the sport, and mostly the respect we have for the fighters themselves. They're the ones that are putting it on the line. For us to do this thing right, we need to introduce it the right way to you, to let you know that this is not just about any technical feedback on either what we've seen or what we're assuming we're going to see in any future fights. This starts with the love of the frickin' sport. Like love like you love chocolate cake. I love chocolate cake, even if you don't. One of my buddies, he used to call me like a happy puppy. If I saw a great fucking fight, I was writhing on the floor, couldn't have been happier in my life. Loved me a great fight, okay? I wrestled in high school, always had a love for it from the beginning. I've seen every single one. Love it, love it, love it. We're peace, we're love, we're peace, we're love. And fucking a good fight. I've grown an enjoyment for this sport that runs deep, and it runs deep for the fighters as well, recognizing what kind of environment they are in and that I actually care about them. They're the ones that make this happen. They're the ones that are bold. They're the ones that step forward and do some crazy shit and put their freaking life on the line. And while I mention that, let me just be really clear about that. Think about that for a minute. If you're one of those fighters that are getting in there to go at it, doesn't it intelligently have to cross your mind that it's possible that between the weight cut, which fucking sucks, and the fight itself, they could die? You got my respect, okay? Even if you are, a bit crazy, whatever, that kind of fighter, But still, point is, that has to cross their mind, and that's a big deal. So let's jump into it, because it's gonna be a good introduction to what I have in front of you right now. This is called Man in the Arena, and it was a speech that was given about 113 years ago by one of our great presidents, Theodore Roosevelt. And here it goes. It is not the critic who counts, haters. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again. Because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. You gotta put it on the line, and you're gonna make mistakes along the way. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, that was ninja fast, wasn't it?
I want to be ninja.
If he fails, at least while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls,
Wussies.
who knew neither victory or defeat. It's the old adage, you've heard that sports saying plenty of times. You have a different right to be able to say certain things, even if you recognize critical aspect. Make sure that you at least acknowledge what it takes in boldness to be able to get in there in the first place. Do we expect the utmost professionalism and a prepared, in-shape athlete? Oh, yes, we do, and we should. We should have exactly that. But we need to recognize everything else about it, everything from the injuries they incurred, what they've done. We don't even know during the fight whether they've even been concussed in the fight to know, or that they broke a hand or broke a foot while they're fighting. And sometimes we find out and sometimes we don't. I'm just saying, maybe you don't even give a shit. Think about what's being said here. Think about the sport that we love. These fighters, some of them don't give a shit, and they're not going to give you any talking build-up. They're not going to be like the masterful Conor McGregor or a Chael Sonnen or all the other ones that know how to talk some shit. But remember, most of the time, when you see them after the fight and they're hugging it up or whatever, they knew that they just had to play a role. And they did it on purpose. They're doing that so that way some of us will be interested in that fight anyway. Personally, I don't need any of that talk. I like my sportsmen with class, man. The Zen warrior, the badasses. No big surprise that most of all of those type of minded athletes end up champions. There's a reason for that. They are put in a position like the WWE to be able to compete in that fashion. So it's not only getting butts in seats, but it's what they're doing to build their brand, because it's going to build their bottom dollar when they recognize that they have a a window of time for their career, and they're going to have to do what they got to do since they're making such sacrifice with their brains and with their bodies. So there's a whole lot that goes into it. Hey, I ain't hating on them either when I just recognize like, oh, okay, they're just building it up. Covington, that's a little much, man. I think he's sold out, but you know, that was his financial choice. But besides that, let's make sure that we have a lot of respect for these fighters and what they go through. And to think about it, think about how many times you see where a card is coming up and somebody incurred an injury and couldn't make it to the fight. A lot of injuries where there's now backup fighters for certain fights and constant changes. Guys that desperately, and women that want to fight really badly, and then all of a sudden just something happens, and it might even happen literally like 24 to 36 hours before they almost killed themselves by completely fucking dehydrating themselves and being deplete with like stupid brain to just have that try to come back to you so you can put your life on the line 30 hours later. I mean, like, I hope you're thinking about all this stuff, because we are, with everything that we do and everything that we talk about. So even if we're giving technical feedback, we're always giving respect and appreciation to the ones that put the blood, sweat, and tears and go through it. And that's what it's all about. All right, this is Fight Shrink. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Fight fans.